Good morning. My name is Jim Happy. I'm the Vice President of Business Development from Transecq. With me on stage today is Christian Brand, the Global CTO of ENTERSECT, the innovator of the technology we're going to be demonstrating here a little bit later on in our presentation, and fortunately for us, our business partner out of South Africa. We'd like to demonstrate today two-factor authentication, a revolutionary new method of two-factor authentication, specifically geared toward the financial services industry. Christian, why don't you walk us through an internet banking logon?
Thanks for the introduction, Jim. Of course, on the left-hand side, we can see a standard internet banking logon page of one of our customers, Nedbank. On the right-hand side, we see my iPhone up on the screen. So this is not an emulator, it's my iPhone over here. And what I'm going to try and do is attempt to do an internet banking logon transaction. So as soon as I hit the login button, we should see a message popping up on my phone. So this is not a text message, it's a push-based notification message which comes up. As soon as I hit the view button, it automatically launches an application. Application has got a digital certificate at the back end, and what's happening right now is a mutual SSL session. The phone identifying itself to the bank uniquely, and the bank or FI identifying itself uniquely to the mobile device. So as soon as this authentication finished, we should see a message popping up on the screen. Now this is not a text or SMS message, it's completely encrypted from the bank to the phone. And as soon as I hit the accept button on the screen and type in my optional PIN code, a digital signature is being created using the private key and this PIN code, sent back to the financial institution for validation. This generates a digital signature that they can hold for non-repudiation purposes, and we'll see on the left-hand side me being logged into my bank immediately.
Now, Christian, this is not an iPhone app, this is not a Droid app, this is not a BlackBerry app.
So what we do is we try and cater for every type of phone type out there, anything from around 2001, 2002 onwards, iPhone, BlackBerry, Android, Windows Mobile, and then all your Sony Ericsson, Nokias, all those type of systems as well. And
Fantastic.
we do have an optional extra that you can go for using SMS, USSD technology if that's not applicable for your industry.
Fantastic. Let's do a couple transactions.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and we say, listen, we want to pay a recipient. Select the recipient from the list. Let's pay our cable bill from our savings account for $50. Once we hit the Pay Now button, again, we'll see the same thing happening. Transaction popping up on the right-hand side, and only after I've actually authenticated the transaction on the second factor will the transaction go through. Now, I'm going to throw this into loop a bit. I'm going to hit the reject button. As soon as I do that, transaction will be declined on the left-hand side, and optionally, the bank's fraud alert system can be notified that something weird's going on here. Maybe they should place a call to the customer to find out what's going on.
So I don't need to know the name of my dog or my mother's maiden name anymore?
Nothing like that.
Fantastic.
No pictures even.
Okay, good deal. Hey, let's walk through a card not present application.
Absolutely,
so
Jim.
You can demonstrate the integration to Verified by Visa.
So basically what we see over here is our best rendition of an online bookstore, an e-commerce site, and we've all seen Verified by Visa, MasterCard Secure Code, the 3D Secure integration. So what we as ENTERSECT have done is we went ahead and said, okay, this technology sounds cool, let's go ahead and integrate this into the industry standard e-commerce authentication system as well. So as soon as I do a checkout over here, we'll see the familiar page with our cardholder details. So I'm going to go ahead and give the system all the necessary details, copy and paste my number in there, and go ahead and do the transaction. Now, I'm not afraid of putting this up on the screen here because I know every payment that I do will be required to be authenticated using 3D Secure. So no passwords to re-enter, no PIN codes, no OTPs. We literally see a message popping up on the phone again, transfer USD 105.50 from credit account to online bookstore. As soon as I hit the accept button, there's an optional PIN code required again from the issuing side. Hit the button, press the OK, and we'll see the transaction being authenticated on the left-hand side momentarily. And once we close this window, we'll see that it's been approved on this end as well.
So fully encrypted, near real time, fully integrated from the consumer to the consumer's mobile device.
Absolutely, Jim. And at this stage, I think it's good to notice that we've been going through some FIPS 140-2 compliance processes, ISO E3000, SAS 70, and then, of course, also with the 3D Secure system, making sure that our system does adhere to the highest of encryption and crypto standards.
So let's walk through, lastly, in our final demonstration, let's walk through a point-of-sale transaction. Let's see what happens there.
Absolutely. So at this stage, we'll go to my point-of-sale device that I've got going here. Simplest thing I'm going to do is just take my card and swipe it through this point-of-sale system. So what will happen is we'll enter the normal digits that's required to start the transaction. We'll go ahead and we'll do a sale, let's say for around $25. So as soon as I confirm this on the system over here and press this button, we'll go into linking mode and authorization. And if we can jump back to my desktop quickly, there we go. So what we should see happening as soon as this credit card terminal goes into authorization mode, after hitting the acquirer through Visa back to the issuer, we should see this card being protected with the system. There we go. Accept payment of $25 at vendor EDT shop. Now, no transaction will go through on the point of sale until I actually go ahead and either accept or reject. So let's accept this transaction. Again, type in an optional PIN code, hit the OK button. At this stage, only now will we physically see the transaction slip printing out. Can we jump back to the point of sale, perhaps? There we go. So there's our slip printing out. So at this stage, after we've actually authenticated the transaction on the mobile phone, do we get the slip? This basically means that we now took a normal magstripe transaction and brought the same kind of encryption technology to it that you would have with chip and PIN. RSA encrypted, full digital signature, full non-repudiation.
Fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about the encryption itself and how we're matching and how we're categorizing the consumer's mobile device and his account numbers. How are we matching those two together?
Absolutely. So traditionally what would happen if a mobile, or an institution at least, would want to make use of mobile services, they had to trust the mobile operator's mapping or the carrier's mapping of phone number to actual user. What we're doing with this technology is saying, listen, we can't always trust the carrier and trust the mobile operator or even anyone in between. I mean, this notion has been kind of substantiated from the late 1970s with full crypto on the internet. You wouldn't do a credit card transaction if you didn't see the little lock on the browser. So what we're saying is we place a digital certificate on the mobile device, and you as the financial institution then have the power in your hands to directly map that digital certificate identifier to a certain user. Doesn't matter if I lose my phone or basically want to get a new one, I always have to come back to my financial institution for them to do that risk profiling of reissuing me that same digital signature.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Hopefully you've enjoyed what we've had to say today. We look forward to seeing you at the booth shortly. Thank you.